If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
Welcome everybody to WagerTalk Today. I am Lawrence Presman. He is Teddy Covers, and you're watching the best daily all sports betting show on the planet. And Teddy, we got such a good show lined up today. Tell everybody who's on and what will we be talking about.
I will in just a second. First, I want to talk about the special offer we have. If you're new to WagerTalk, we've got you covered. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access pass at WagerTalk. Just use coupon code TRYWT. All you have to do to redeem the offer is go to WagerTalk, choose the handicapper of your choice, use coupon code TRYWT at checkout. You'll save 50% on your first purchase from WagerTalk.com. On today's show, Adam Trigger is going to lead us off. He's going to talk Red Sox and Rays, the hottest team in baseball. He's also going to talk Reds and Phillies in MLB action. Skee Profit's going to join us next. We've got 6 NBA series with prices on them. Skee and I are going to break down all 6 of those series to quick hitter fashion. We're going to go through all 6 NBA playoff series that currently have prices. My big game breakdown. We'll go to MLB for tonight and talk a little Yankees action. And of course, to close out the show, Carmine Bianco going to talk a pair in the NHL, Carolina and Florida, Pittsburgh and Columbus. If we get 100 likes, Lawrence will have his presidential address at the close of everything. And there, my friends, is a lineup for Thursday.
Well, there you go. Great stuff. And yeah, guys, remember, try WT, 50% off any package, 1-day to 3-day package. I have actually got a 5% play going tonight in the NHL, and I think it's one of my favorite plays of the year, Teddy. So we already have half price Thursday. Every play at WagerTalk half price. Now you can use that promo code, TryWT, and get it for even less. If you've never purchased a play from us, my 5% seems like a good place to start. Teddy Covers, let's bring Adam Trigger in. Man, I love Adam. So good. So young, too. Oh, I want to be young. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Prez. We always talk about this. I think people think I'm way younger than I am. I'm going to be 37 this summer. A lot of people.
I know.
A lot of people think I'm younger than that.
You, dude, you honestly could pass for 27 easily. Easily. I mean, you could be Teddy's child.
I'll take the under.
No, I'm thinking he could be your child. Hey, but anyway, brother, how you been doing? How's baseball been for you to start the season?
Prez, I got to be honest, it's been kind of a roller coaster. Like, I had such a good March, had a great run through the NCAA tournament, and baseball's been like up and down, where I've won 3 or 4 in a row. I think I lost 6 in a row at one point. Right now, I've won 5 of 6. I'm netting out to a plus in both MLB and KBO. So that's nice. Good. And I have to say, if that's the regression that I was going to hit after March, I'll take it. We're only a couple weeks into the season. We're going till September, October, even November with Korean baseball. So it's a long season. I feel pretty good about where we're at right now. And I got my first 5% play of the year today. I like kind of where I'm at now recently, 5-1 in my last 6. So I got one I'm going to step it up with tonight.
Nice. Excellent stuff. And you guys can get that for half price over at WagerTalk.com, as it's half price Thursdays. And let's turn our attention to Boston and Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, an historic start to the season. 2 more wins, and they have set the record. Well, not the record since 1888 or something. I think it's 20 games in a row back in the 1800s. Jeffrey Springs on the mound. He's facing Corey Kluber. It's minus 230 for Tampa Bay. The over and under here is 8, and this game starts in exactly 1 hour and 4 minutes. How should we bet this game?
Well, Prez, I have on my page that I'll be going for 5 straight tonight with the 5% play, but that's actually not true. It's either going to be 6 in a row or we're going to be trying to bounce back after a loss because this is a 4% play for me. I know you hate when I come and give out the day games that have 1 hour of shelf life, but I want to give people the client plays when I can. And so Red Sox plus 1.5, so 4% play. I'm going to give Teddy his follow-up question right off the bat. I'm not that impressed with the win streak. And I know he's going to shred me for that in a minute, but listen, they haven't played a good team yet, the Rays. Like, the Red Sox barely qualify as a good team. The teams that the Rays played prior to this have a combined record entering play today of 9-27. They've outscored teams 92-27 during the streak. Now, it's not anytime you win 12 straight games in Major League Baseball, that's impressive. But the elite teams, and I'm willing to call the Rays elite, or they're at least in the conversation, they do it every year for the most part. Like, there will be a time this year where the Yankees rattle off 10 in a row, the Astros win like 10 or 11 in a row. And when it happens throughout the course of the season, I mean, it's notable, but we don't make as big of a deal of it as
Right.
this is being made. This is just the begin. It's just they happen to do it in the first 12 games. And I think there's a lot of value if you're willing to oppose that, which I am, because again, this is just another game, right? Like Kevin Cash, I don't think he cares about a win streak. He's going to rest a couple guys today. It's a day game, 1 o'clock start. They have a series coming up with the Blue Jays this weekend. Not to mention, winning games means you typically have high leverage situations for your top relievers, which the Rays have had the last couple days. So they might be without a reliever or two in this game. My good friend Ariel Epstein texted me this morning. We got talking about this. I got to give her credit here because I don't know if I would have got this on my own. They faced Jeffrey Springs, who throws primarily 4-seamer changeup. Red Sox against left-handed pitching against those pitches, as good of an OBP as anyone in the league. I thought that was a great stat. Wanted to make sure it got mentioned on the show. And the Red Sox actually have a nice sample size against Springs. They faced him a number of times last year, and he was 0-2 against them with a 4.50 ERA. So that's good enough for me to think the Red Sox might be able to do something here. Their lineup isn't their optimal lineup from what we expect from a Red Sox starting lineup today, but I think they've given off days and put people in this lineup that maybe can maximize their chances to hit Springs. Enrique Hernandez was on an 0-for-28 slump. He busted out of that last night. He's 4-for-8 against Springs in his career. And then just the kicker here, guys, is the fact that you're going to give me the plus 1.5 run line on the road, the extra at bat at minus 105. I think that's a great bet. I read right before I came on the show, I didn't know this, the Rays have never swept the Red Sox. I need to go fact check that because that's crazy to me, but I think that's true. The source that sent this is usually right. So if that's the case, I mean, the Red Sox are going to avoid the sweep. And the Rays, I believe they've won, I think 11 or 12 straight at the Trop. I know I was at one of the last times the Red Sox won in this building was the 2021 playoffs. I was at the game down at Tropicana Field. To get the Red Sox here plus a run, the run head start plus 1.5. Kluber's a guy that on a day can give you a good outing. I think Springs might get hit a little bit here, and this is a pretty good game. The Red Sox are going to want to get the win. They're going to want to break up this streak. So give me the Red Sox plus 1.5 for 4% play.
So my follow-up is real simple because I agree with 90, at least 98% of what you said in terms of Tampa's hot streak to open the season is as much schedule related as anything. All right. But Boston's no good. Kluber's no good. This team isn't a good team. This isn't the team that I want to beat the hottest and most confident team in baseball right now. My question is why? Why? I understand it's a short card today, and there's only a certain number of games that we can talk about. But when I'm looking on a card, the thing I'm not looking to do is bet against the single hottest team in baseball with a crappy starting pitcher and a crappy bullpen behind him, and not a great team, and not even a great plus price. You're saying take plus 1.5, and you're getting basically a pick on price range. So talk to me about that concept. Why?
Well, first off, Teddy, I've been waiting for this spot all series. The spot where the Red Sox on the run line were good enough value to take them on the run line. We haven't had it really yet in this series until now. I think you get the road team plus 1.5 at minus 105. That's almost always good value. Obviously, you have to take in the matchup into consideration. So Kluber you're right. Like, he's not elite anymore, but he's still a veteran. He's still pitching against the team that signed off on his paychecks last year. A team that obviously, didn't bring him back. So you'd have to imagine that he wants to throw well, and he hasn't really pitched well to this point in the year. And I think for someone like Corey Kluber, I'm more or less willing to take a chance on him in this spot because we know that he's at least capable of a good start. It's not like he's some scrub. Like Corey Kluber's a veteran that's pitched at an elite level at points in his career. Even though he's not that now, on a one-off basis, like, he's someone that can go out and give you a respectable quality start. And I really think if he gives that to the Red Sox today, that they're going to be right in this game. And being in this game with plus 1.5 is more than enough for me. So I'm willing to roll the dice here, if you want to call it that. But I think it's a great spot for the Red Sox, and you're giving me the plus 1.5 at minus 105. I think that's a no-brainer. So this will be a client play for me.
Adam Trigger joining us, everyone. You're watching Wager Talk Today. If you've never subscribed to our channel, take 2 minutes and do so, please. Great sports betting content all day, every day. It starts with puck time at 11 a.m. and it just keeps going throughout the day. So just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and become part of our sports betting family. Philly playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati 4-7 on the year. Philly 4-8 on the year. Philadelphia's gone over the total 3 of the last 4 times. Philly 4 in a row. We have an 8.5 on board. Cincinnati minus 138, give or take. Where do we go here, my friend?
So this didn't make my official card. And I guess I'll off the top tell you the reasons why, because there's only a couple of things sort of keeping me off making the Reds a play. One, the number did move. This was closer to like minus 110, minus 115 this morning. And so if I didn't get in then, I don't want to get in now. But if you're just looking for an opinion on this game, I think the Reds are the right side. The only other thing that concerns me is the fact that these two teams just played a week ago, which means I don't think we're getting the full sort of effect of how good Nick Lodolo is here, because the Phillies just saw him and could potentially make an adjustment. The reason I'm not overly concerned about that being the case here is the Phillies came back and won the game last week, where he went 7 innings, struck out 12 guys, and was virtually unhittable. In that same game, Bailey Falter pitched for the Phillies. I just want to make a general statement. I'm not high on the Phillies this year. They're a team I'm willing to oppose. So just off the top, I kind of want to go against them. Falter's a guy that he's fine. Like, he's probably belongs in the back end of a major league rotation at this point, but he's not special in my opinion. Not like Lodolo looks like he very well may be early on in his career. So given the fact that both of these teams just had exposure to each other, and the Phillies actually won that game in a rare instance where their bullpen closed out a game. They came back and won it late after Falter lasted about 5 innings. I'm definitely willing to take the Reds if I'm going to get involved in this game. The Phillies have the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball right now, ERA 6.65 coming into today. So just the fact that, like, I don't think Lodolo is going to take anything for granted here, even though he pitched so well against them a week ago, because he didn't end up getting the win. The team collapsed and they blew his win in that game. So I just think we're getting the superior pitcher. I don't know if we're getting the superior team. I still have the Phillies a little bit better than the Reds. But in this, you go back to the series last week, these teams played 3 games. All 3 games were close. All were within 1 or 2 runs. Could have gone either way. The Phillies in 9 other games, guys, 2-7. I'm just not sold on the Phillies being even close to what they were last year. And so for that reason, and some of the other reasons I mentioned, I'd be willing to go against them here.
So, I mean, I understand the desire to fade Philadelphia. Is Cincy a team we want our money on? Is Cincy a bet on team, or is this a Dolo? You know, we like the starter.
Yeah, Teddy, I like the starter here. You could try to isolate that a little bit and maybe go first five, because the main reason I really want to play on the Reds would be Lodolo. That being said, I still prefer the full game personally because I want to get that Phillies bullpen into the mix, right? Like I don't want to miss out on a few innings against the Phillies bullpen, which has been so horrific this year, and falter. Even though I'm not high on them and him, and I don't have him rated as high as Lodolo, he's capable of going 5, 6 strong innings. So I don't want to miss the chance at getting to the Phillies implosion, which we've seen happen a number of times. But yeah, I would say I would agree with you there. The Reds it's still not a team I've backed yet with my money this year. Haven't, made a client bet on them yet. And I'm not going to here. But as you said earlier, it's short. It's a short card. I've got a 5% play in one game. I already gave you the 4%er in the other. So the next best thing, I guess, if you will, Teddy, would probably be Reds on the money line here.
Adam Trigger has a 5% play up tonight in baseball. It is Throwback Thursdays. We have slashed all our pricing in half. You can buy Adam Trigger's 5% play for half price. And if you've never purchased from us before, you can get another half off using the promo code TRYWT. Adam, I think I've promoted for you. Have I forgot anything?
No, I think we're good. 5%er tonight, going for 5 in a row. Hopefully 6. Hopefully we'll get the Red Sox plus 1.5 home and be going for 6 straight in Major League Baseball. Prez, the sharp way to do this, though, is to take the 50% discount on the 5%er, save the coupon, and use it on something that you get a bigger discount on. Just
there you
throw that out.
There you go. Adam Trigger, he's no silly 23-year-old. He's a smart 37-year-old. Nice
Almost,
to have
36
you,
and a half.
36 and a half. What are you, 5? Teddy Covers. What did we learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
So I had lunch yesterday with a good friend, a guy who comes to Vegas once or twice a year, or used to come to Vegas once or twice a year. One of his favorite places on earth. There's a pic that Dan's going to pop up in a minute of me having lunch outside downtown. Now, admittedly, he's gotten older, he's gotten married, he has kids, and he hadn't been here since before COVID. He came to town this week, and we got together again yesterday. We had some lunch. Really enjoyed seeing him, but I was kind of depressed with what he had to say. Vegas has been his number one destination since he turned 21 years old. Like, that's the place he wants to go. When he's got time, he goes to Vegas. Not anymore. When I talked to him yesterday, he's not sure when or if he'll be back. And the biggest issue is something that we talk about all the time in the sports betting world. Value. Where's the value? And he started running off all the different ways over the last 20 years Vegas has lost value, whether it's parking fees or resort fees. He was looking for $10 minimums for craps. He couldn't find $10 minimum tables. That really depressed him. 6 to 5 blackjack, no buffets to fill up on. It's loud, it's smoky, all this kind of stuff that, yeah, when you're a little bit older, it bugs you. But the value stuff bugged me a lot. Yeah, some of us growing older, you have more responsibilities, but much of that is Vegas is kind of a ripoff right now. And that's a bummer. That's a bummer short term, and that's a bummer long term. And it's really the first time that I've had a friend that I see all the time. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm coming back. How do you feel about that, Lawrence?
It's so funny you talk about that because I was literally speaking to a buddy of mine a few nights ago about that. And I know people who don't want to go to Vegas anymore. You can't enjoy wasting time at a blackjack table or a pie gow table or whatever game you might play if every damn bet has to be $25.
Sure,
that minimum bet just kills me. I mean, I remember staying at the Westgate in the summer, and it was $25 bets. Bally's and Paris, when I was there for the World Series of Poker, $25 minimums at Bally's. It's frustrating because the majority of people who are going down to Vegas are not going down there with $1,000 bankroll to play blackjack and expecting to come home with 10 grand. They're going down there with $1,000 bankroll to play blackjack and expecting it to last until they lose it all, but making sure that it lasted and they got play. Vegas doesn't care about that anymore. Vegas is not,
No.
all they want is for you to lose your money and lose your money fast. And it's frustrating. Even for me, I can afford $25 bets. I just can't justify it.
And the same story with this guy. You know, he can afford it. He's got kids. He's got a wife.
Yeah.
He can't justify. And again, at a craps table, when we talk about $25 minimums, that's $25 for the pass line, and then $50 or more on your
craps
odds,
has gone
$25
nuts.
And that's the game he plays. And he's
Yeah.
like, I used to be able to sit down at the craps, a couple $100 and get some rolls. Now I sit down at the craps with a couple $100, and if I lose the first roll, I'm done. That loss of value, which and again, you're a smart guy. You're a target audience for Vegas. I see Skee's not on yet. Skee Profit will join us later in the show. He's sitting there nodding his head like this in the back. You know, I mean, we're the target audience that Las Vegas wants. And we're all sitting there going, there's no value in this town anymore. There's no value in this town anymore. That's depressing to me. It really is.
Yeah, and then
And
throw the damn resort.
yesterday.
Yeah, look, everywhere the resort fee is happening everywhere. In Vegas, exorbitant. But really, craps is what really blows me away the most, because if you're looking at a $25 minimum bet and you're playing the pass line, you know, the field, the come line, you're covering 6, 8, 9, 4, you're in play for $250 a roll. Anyway, great take, Teddy, and it's so damn true. I want to address one of our watchers, James De La Garza, Teddy. He talks about Adam Trigger. You can sound good explaining something, but be stupid at the same time. He's making Boston 1.5 as a 4% play dumb. The best advice is to avoid the game. Then he writes, he said his baseball has been a roller coaster. Funny, because baseball so far this year has been easy to call. James, I want to watch your show, bro. I want to watch your show all day, all night. If you could just put in the chat room, you know, what ESPN show you're on, or, you know, where we could read your book, where we could learn all your skills. I am in. You seem to know exactly what you're talking about simply by insulting other people. It's gorgeous and stunning. I appreciate your comments. But, Teddy, it kills me when people, and this happens on Puck Time all the time, it's like, Carmine's an idiot. He called Pittsburgh and they lost. Yeah, like we're going to win every single game. And then tomorrow, crickets. When Adam wins Boston today, crickets tomorrow, bro. Anyway, James, I do appreciate you coming in, and I'm not trying to insult you here, but come on, man. You can't call someone stupid because they like a bet that you don't. Teddy, let's bring Skee Profit in, my brother. Skee, awesome to have you with us, man. Anything to add so far, what you've heard?
I've been really enjoying the show. I agree with a lot of what has been said. I'll start with the Vegas thing. I agree. I'm a big craps player, and you don't find me at the table too often anymore just because of how you said, Prez. Like, I like to bet the numbers. I want to bet odds, do all that stuff. And, you know, I lose 2 rolls. It's already $500 gone. I'm ready to go take a smoke break or something. So
yeah,
I don't love that. I've been away from Vegas right now. I'm still away from Vegas for almost a month. Traveling around different places. I'm noticing how much cheaper it is everywhere. The food is better everywhere. I'm like, it's not a whole lot of reasons to want to come to Vegas. So I understand, you know, that argument. And
Skee,
then go for it.
Sorry. No, I was going to ask. I mean, listen, I don't want to admit that I'm a Casino Royale kind of a guy, but that was my favorite craps table, dude. 100-1 odds line, $5 minimum bets. Teddy, tell me Casino Royale is still the place to play craps, or has it also gone bananas?
I don't know. I haven't been in there in a long time. Skee lives right by there. He'll tell you.
there's a couple places you can go where you can get cheaper craps odds, but you might not want to play there.
Right.
I'll just say that.
I remember there used to be a lineup at that Casino Royale table, 100 to 1 odds line, stunning. Skee, we're going to race through the NBA series, and then if we have time, we're going to get to your hockey and baseball. Let's start right off the bat with Philadelphia and Brooklyn. We got Brooklyn at plus 600, Philly at minus 900. Look, these lines are going to change depending on where you're at. I'm using one book. I'm not going to mention their name, but that's their lines. Any thoughts at all on this Philadelphia-Brooklyn series? And then I'll pass it over to Teddy for the next one.
Yeah, well, this is one I don't have the most opinions on, but how I feel about this one is the Brooklyn Nets do not deserve to be in the playoffs. Like, they're piggybacking off of what the Nets did in the first half of the season when they had, a much better roster. Since the trade deadline, they do not have a winning record, and I don't think they're going to be that competitive in this series. Sixers should be pretty hungry, seeing how the last couple of years have went, and also James Harden thinking he got, I don't know what the right word is. He thought he should have been an all-star, so I think they'll really come to play, especially in that first series. So the best way to bet this one, I'm looking right now, Sixers minus 2.5 games. I see minus 175, so that's been climbing. It's pretty much the same as an under 5.5 games bet, which is cheaper. And the way I'm thinking, if Brooklyn Nets are not going to win 2 games, I do think they could sneak out one. If you want to look for a little bit of value here, maybe you go Sixers to win this series 4-1 at the plus 200 odds. That's the way I think to play this one. What do you think, Teddy?
So, Skee, I'm not going to ask you follow-ups for all these because we're not going to have time, but I do want to ask you about this one in particular. How live is Philadelphia to come out of the East? Do they have any chance? Are they really live? You don't think they have a chance?
I don't, and it's going to be really simple for me. Round 2 probably, round 3 for sure. If
we got
make
Boston
it there,
round
but,
2.
Oh yeah, they're going to be done. I just think you cannot trust James Harden. He's shown time and time again. The longer he goes in the playoffs, the longer in a series, once it gets to games 5 and 6, he starts to give up. He's not a guy that you can rely on. And at the same time, Embiid is also a player who is injury prone. You can see some of that bothering him. And I mean, when in that Sixers versus Hawks series, the reason that the Hawks gave him problems was because the longer the game went on, Embiid just tired out, and Capella took advantage of it in the second half. So with me not trusting both of their stars, I can't back Philly to come out of the East. And also, I don't trust Doc Rivers. I don't think he's a good coach.
Yeah, that's the secret that no one's talking about is Doc Rivers having mailed it in several years ago. Let's talk about the Hawks and the Celtics. I'm seeing Boston minus 1,000, minus 1,200, plus 650, plus 700 on the Atlanta side. Do the Hawks have a chance in this series to make things interesting, or is Boston going to roll them?
Well, this is where I'll probably have different opinions than everybody else. I don't think Boston's going to roll them. I hear a lot of Boston sweeping and things of that nature. I just feel like the Hawks, there's not one player in my mind that I can think of who can lock down and stop Trae Young. The ways that teams have had success is blitzing him, double teaming him, making him get rid of the ball, and making the rest of the team beat him. And when you have a guy like DeJounte Murray on the team now, you can just dish it off to him, allow him to make some of those decisions. So if you take away that weakness of the Hawks game from the past couple of years, I think they're live to at least win a couple here. Their offense is potent. They have a lot of guys who can put it in the basket. And Celtics, they're the same. So there will be a game where the Hawks shoot the lights out the gym, probably when they're at the house. And I think they can sneak out. Maybe. It's not for sure. You're getting a plus price because, like I said, a lot of people don't think this way. I think they maybe can sneak out 2 games here. Hawks plus 2.5 games or over 5.5 games for the series is plus 150. I would expect for them to give a little bit of a fight rather than lay a hefty price with Boston.
Skee Profit's joining us, everyone. You can find him at WagerTalk.com. Skee, let's get to, more normal odds, if you will. Cleveland minus 200, 220. They're playing the Knicks plus 180. What do we do in this series?
This one, I feel like you just go with how both of these teams have been playing all year. You have a Cleveland team who is absolutely dominant at the house, don't even have a winning record on the road. The Knicks team, one of the better, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but one of the better point spread teams on the road so far this season. So if you put both of those things together, I think if you play game by game, you probably just bet Cavaliers whenever they're at home, Knicks whenever they're on the road. And if it's like that, Knicks plus 1.5 games seems like the way to go. I would see this one being more of a 7-game series. So you could bet the plus 1.5. I see a minus 135 price. Or if you want a little bit of an easier bet, not sure that the Knicks can push it 7 games. Over 5.5 games is closer to minus 200. I think either one of those are the way to go here. So play game by game, home road splits, or Knicks plus 1.5 games.
So just real quick, Skee, if we want to play the Cavs at the house and we want to play the Knicks on the road, isn't that playing the same team on the opposite sides of the same game?
Maybe I said it wrong. I want to play.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I must have had a mistake here. But I trust the Knicks at the house too. The Knicks have been strong on the road, point spread range. So I guess, you know what? You caught me, Teddy. It's the one time I have to admit. I came on prepared to talk.
I just want to clarify. I wasn't trying to finger you. I was just trying to clarify it for the audience. But it's not like you're saying bet on the road team and bet on the home team in the same game.
What I'll come back and say is, my main point is I really do trust the Cavaliers at the house. I don't trust them at all on the road. So I really would just be fading them game after game or betting on them depending, where they're playing.
Sure. And of course, Skee gave us a hockey game and a baseball game to talk about. We're like, we need more NBA. We're going to go through the series. She's like, okay. So it's not like you had ample prep time for all of these. Let's talk about the series price that is surprising people who don't understand the NBA betting markets. With the number 6 seed Golden State, minus 280, minus 270, minus 290 against the number 3 seed Sacramento. You get the buyback on the Kings, plus 230, plus 240. And when people have asked me about this series, how can the 6 seed be a 3-1 favorite over the 3 seed? Well, and then the question I answer back to them, I asked them a question back is, well, what price would it take you to bet the Sacramento Kings in this series? And the answer is probably more than 2-1. What do you think, Kings Warriors?
Yeah, I agree. They have to get some kind of action on the Kings here. They played good this year. They did better than I thought they would do. But the problem with the Kings we have here is, they're a really good offensive team. They don't play a whole lot of defense. When the game slows down in the playoffs, that's a really big part of it. If you can't get any stops, I can't trust you to close out or win a series. Also, the Kings are the less experienced team. I don't remember when is the last time the Kings even made the playoffs. So you have all of that going up against one of the more experienced teams in Golden State, who's been in the playoffs majority of the years. Last 10 years. They just won the championship. They're getting a little bit healthier. See, the problem with Golden State, and another reason here, a lot of people know that Golden State has been bad on the road all season long. That's changing now. You heard Draymond talk about it on his podcast, saying how they wanted to end the year strong on the road. They won 4 of their last 5 games there. And you look at Gary Payton II coming back, he's going to improve their perimeter defense. You now have Andrew Wiggins coming back or on track to play on Saturday. He's going to improve their perimeter defense. And that's the reason why they were poor on the road. They were just giving up basket after basket after basket. So in a series like this, the more experienced team, the team you can trust to play more defense, the team with the best players on the court, the team with the better coach, it's all Golden State. I'll be rolling with that team. So I understand why they're favored. Even if you look at last year, they weren't that high in the standings, I don't believe, but they still made it all the way to the end.
Skee Profits, Carmine Bianco waiting in the background, thinking to himself, oh God, we're running out of time. Don't you worry, Carm, we'll go a little late. We love you. We want to hear what you have to say. Lakers, Memphis. Lakers plus 120, Memphis minus 140. These are the shortest odds. Where do we go here, Skee?
Yeah, short and sweet. You guys know I'm a Laker fan. I'm not going to be super biased here, but I just think the Lakers are playing really good basketball since the trade deadline. They're playing like they're hungry. They're the more experienced team. And the Grizzlies, without Steven Adams down there, it's going to be a problem versus Anthony Davis. If you put Jaren Jackson Jr. out there for too many minutes, he's going to foul out. So I see, the Lakers living in the paint. And I see the Grizzlies struggling to score. The Grizzlies are a team who most of their points come from inside the paint. And in the playoffs, I just don't see them having that much success in that regard, especially versus the Lakers team who has been really good on the defensive end. So I personally think the Grizzlies are a regular season team. I think the Lakers get the job done here at a plus 120 price.
And last but not least, we have 2 series still to be determined. We've gone through 5. That means we've got 1 yet to talk about. That, of course, the 4 and the 5 in the West, Phoenix and the LA Clippers. And the other line that I've seen, series price that I've seen people surprised about, is this one, where you have 2 teams that are relatively close in the standings, relatively close to records-wise, and one team opened a $5 favorite. Now, we have seen a little bit of Clippers money, down to, minus 450 at some spots. Clippers Suns. Can LA pull off the upset?
Can they pull off the upset? I'm not sure, but I think they can make the series more competitive than people think. This Suns team, they got rid of a lot of their depth. They still don't have the best chemistry as they are constructed right now, and I don't trust. It's still series number 1, so we don't have to worry about this too much. But I don't trust Chris Paul or Kevin Durant to stay healthy throughout. So with all that said, I do trust Ty Lue. I think he's a really good coach. Kawhi Leonard, I feel like he's rested to go on a big run, and he can compete with the best of them. So just because the Clippers do not have Paul George, I think they have enough talent over there to make this, a competitive series. The way I think I would play this one right now would be over the 5.5 games, expecting the Clippers to, win 2 or more, even if the Suns win the series.
There you go. Skee Profits. Listen, we're going to, Teddy, no offense. We're going to pass on your big game breakdown, but you're going to give the play. Skee, you did prepare 2 plays for us. No analysis. Just give them out, and then we got to move on, bro.
Well, it's short and sweet for the hockey one, and it's the last time you can play it this year. You look at teams who are coming off of a road game in Vegas, returning home. The over is hitting above 80%. So that's Las Vegas and the Kraken for tonight. It's also the last game of the season. I don't think they have too much to play for, so I don't think a whole lot of defense will be played. Over 6 goals in that game. And then the baseball game, Reds versus Phillies. You heard Trig talk a little bit about it. Falter. These teams just played not too long ago. And he trusts the pitchers. He trusts Lodolo. I do too. I don't trust Phillies bullpen. I do trust Falter. So I'm going to cut the game in half. I'll avoid that Phillies bullpen, and I'll go under 4.5 runs. Hopefully that was a good summary.
There you go. Skee Profits, everyone. Thanks for joining us, brother. Teddy covers. What is your big game breakdown? You don't need to go through the whole thing, but just give us the play. You did your work.
Sure, I will. I'm going to promo for just a moment because you can take $50 off the rest of the NBA through the finals. You pay only $1.69 at checkout. Just use coupon code NBA50 for my NBA playoff package. It's good at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo. I hit 66% in the NBA playoffs last year. I'm 171 and 113, 60% in the NBA since February 22, up more than 177 units of profit. Betting 67% in NBA over the last 2 weeks and 64% over the last 6 weeks. NBA 50 is your promo code. Take $50 off again for the rest of the season with an NBA playoff package. Big game breakdown today. I like the New York Yankees, and it's minus 145, minus 150 against Minnesota. I think there's a legit class difference between these 2 teams. I think the lineup for the Yankees is better, and boy, I trust the Yankees bullpen a lot more, even with Minnesota's early season bullpen success. And the price is cheap. Bronx Bombers minus 150.
There you go. Teddy covers with his big game breakdown. Carmine Bianco joining us, everyone. And Carm, thanks for being so patient, bro.
All good, man. Just soaking in all your knowledge.
Oh,
Teddy's,
thank
I mean.
you. No, I knew what you meant there, Carm. Dude, firstly, congratulations for an incredible hockey season. I mean, start to finish. You got a real legitimate chance. What?
Again.
Yeah, again.
A great hockey season again. Yeah, he did the
and again,
not
and
the first
again,
time,
and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carm's got a real shot at 100 units or so, and I think that's an important number. It's so nice and round. Carm, we've got a full slate of games today. Last real full slate of the season. You want to talk Carolina, Florida, Pittsburgh, and Columbus. Let's start with Carolina and Florida. And this is an interesting matchup because it could be the very matchup for the first round. Carolina still playing for home ice advantage here. Florida playing with nothing. Look, they could move up. I think Florida wants to avoid Boston. But either way, how do we bet this game?
Yeah, the odd thing here is there's really no way, I think, for these two teams to meet up in the playoffs, and I'll explain why. Normally, the last light night of the NHL season, there's a couple games tomorrow. We see a lot of pond hockey. All the spots are sewn up, and all the playoff spots are confirmed. It's just the seedings that are up for grabs. So a couple big things in this game. There's something at play for both teams. The Carolina Hurricanes are 1 point up in the New Jersey Devils. They need to win this game, whether it's in regulation or it's in overtime, to finish with the number 1 seed in the Metro. If this game was to go to overtime and they lose in overtime, and New Jersey wins in overtime or in regulation, New Jersey gets the number 1 seed because they'll be tied on points, but New Jersey have the tiebreaker. Regulation wins 39-38. You look at Florida, you mentioned, if they move up and over the New York Islanders, they avoid the Boston Bruins. I think everyone wants to avoid the Boston Bruins. But even a point, if they get this game to overtime and they lose in overtime, they will still leapfrog the Islanders because they'll be tied on points. The first tiebreaker is regulation wins. They both have 36. The second tiebreaker is overall wins, regulation, overtime, shootout, 42 wins each. The third tiebreaker, which will be used, will be head-to-head record, and Florida beat the New York Islanders in 2 of 3 games this year. So a point in a point in overtime, even with a loss, will and they will avoid the Boston Bruins. With that said, there's a lot at stake for both teams here, and this total's at 6.5. I just don't see how it gets there. I feel this is going to be a tight checking game. We're seeing Alex Line is going to be in goal for Florida. He's played extremely well for this team down the stretch with Bobrovsky on the sidelines, and it should be Felix or Freddie Anderson in goal for Carolina. And Carolina's gone under the total in 8 of their last 9 games. So with that said, I'm looking for a low-scoring, tight-checking game with two teams that there's something on the line for both teams. I just don't see a pond hockey type game, so I'm taking the under 6.5.
But for Carolina and Florida to stay under the total, let's talk about the Penguins and the Blue Jackets. Pittsburgh minus 210. Well, they've been bet up this morning. I'm seeing minus 240s out there now for the Penguins. Some places even higher than that. Total sitting at 6.5, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen. What do we do with the Penguins and the Blue Jackets Thursday night, NHL?
Yeah, and this is another one. In a game where a line is this big, I'm going to find you a couple plays that are plus money plays. There's nothing at stake here. The Pittsburgh Penguins lose the other night at home as a minus 550 favorite to the Chicago Blackhawks, which literally has them now, after the Islanders win last night, has them on the outside looking in. First time they've missed the playoffs in 17 years. They're not happy about it, but they're playing a Columbus team who, for all intents and purposes, are the free space on a bingo card. Everyone is beating this team. They have 57 points, the lowest point total in the NHL. And if they lose their next 2 games tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins, in regulation, mind you, lose them in regulation, they lose to the Penguins and lose to the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow in regulation, they will finish with the worst record in the NHL and will have the top percentage, not the number 1 pick in the draft, but the top percentage chance at 25.5%. They pick up 1 point, they drop to 13.5% to get the number 1 pick in the draft that this year you want to get, because it's Connor Bedard. He's going to be a generational talent in the NHL, being compared to some of the top stars, and any of his highlight reels will show you that.
That's crazy.
So how do you get plus money out of this? You've got Jari and Hutchinson, the goalies. Hutchinson's 1-6 this season, 444 goals against average, and he's allowed 4, 5, and 7 in his last 4 starts. They're sitting out players. They're using that injury designation, Patrick Laine out of the lineup. They have 12 or 13 guys out of the lineup, Columbus does. And the Penguins are 18-3-1 their last 22 games against Columbus. Take the puck line, minus 1.5, plus 130. And then one angle that I've been telling people about on Puck Time is guys who are looking to hit contract numbers. I talked about Mitch Marner on Saturday with last call with Megan Payton. He needed 2 goals to hit 30 goals and hit a contract bonus. He gets 2 goals in that game, and you could get big plus money on him to score 2 or more goals. Ricard Rackle for Pittsburgh needs 2 goals tonight to hit a contract milestone. He's plus 145 to score an anytime goal tonight. So take him to score 1. He could get 2, and that price would be even bigger if you take 2 or more goals. Let's take him to get just 1 at plus 145.
Yeah.
And there's 2 plus money plays on a team that is minus 240 tonight.
Outstanding. Carmine Bianco. Guys, we need 8 more likes for the daily presidential address. We need them right the hell now. Carmine, we do the show a lot, Teddy and I, and we hear from people all the time. Oh, the sports are fixed. The fix is in. The league wants Green Bay to win. The league wants the Lakers to win. If there is ever a time where the league wanted a team to win, it would be tonight, and it would be Pittsburgh, because nobody wants Bedard to go to Columbus. So we will see what the refs have in store for tonight's game, and we will find out if all of these people are right, and there are 10 power plays for Pittsburgh and 0 for Columbus. I love the over in this game, Carm. Who the hell is going to play defense?
Neither one. And listen, the Penguins are going to want to finish on a strong note after that real big disappointment. Everyone is traveling with the team. Everyone's going to be in the lineup. And this is just a game where Columbus wants to lose their next couple of games. And I would come right back with the Buffalo Sabres on the puck line tomorrow or regulation, because they're going to lose this game in 60 minutes. So that's what I see. I want to throw out, because Teddy had that great promo, the NBA 50. I've got a similar one in the NHL, Cup 50. Cup 50 will get you every single play that I release in the Stanley Cup, series prices, any futures, every game, total, prop. Regular is $219. You can get it for $169, $50 off using the promo code Cup 50. And then 4 games up tonight in the NHL as we look to finish strong in what's been a great NHL season for us. But the last 7 days has been absolutely fantastic for us as well, up 54 units across all sports.
Brilliant stuff. Carmine Bianco, everyone. Dan, we got over 100 likes. We did it. It's time. Let's go. The daily presidential address. All right, guys, it's time for the daily presidential address. I am Lawrence Presman. I've got 3 NHL plays for you guys in this video. Before I get into that, I do want to make mention that it is Throwback Thursday. Every single package over at WagerTalk.com is half price today. I happen to have a 5% play up in NHL tonight. This is probably my favorite play of the year. I absolutely love this play. There's a lot of value this time of year on some of the games, a lot more than one would expect. So please head over to WagerTalk, grab my 5% play. It does come with 2 baseball plays as well. Let's all win. Let's go 3-0 tonight. Grab my 5%. So let's get into the 3 plays I like tonight. And 2 of them I like better than the third one, but I'll get into that. I really love the Pittsburgh over. Pittsburgh's playing Columbus. The total is 6.5. Columbus has gone over the total of 6.5, 7 of their last 10 games. This is a stone cold over team from start to finish. But the bottom line here is Pittsburgh just screwed their entire season up by losing to Chicago a couple of nights ago. They have not made the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, the longest active streak across any sport. Nobody is going to play defense in this game, and I mean nobody. This is a pond hockey game. There'll be a ton of space, a ton of open ice. I think this game is going to go to 9 goals. Frankly, I would bet exact score 5-3, 5-4, take over the total of 6.5. I like the Montreal Canadiens tonight. They are plus 255 against the Boston Bruins. Look, I've tried to play against the Boston Bruins a couple of times this year. It has never worked out well, but man, I got to believe Boston is sitting their whole damn team tonight. And I think Montreal would like to end the year with a win. And my favorite play is Buffalo minus the 140. That's Buffalo minus the 140. That's it. Teddy, my brother, great show today, man. Loved going through the NBA series with Skee Profit. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Shawarma Day. Take us home, bro.
Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll be back again tomorrow, right here on WagerTalk Today.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.